Welcome back to Rude Tuners Arcade. I'm your host RT. In today's video, we're diving into the Nintendo Switch 2 and examining whether its specs are disappointing or is there actually more to the story. Now, to quote the great Reggie Fils-Aimé, I remember him saying, "He who has the best games always wins, always has." So my opinion is, I think even though the Nintendo Switch 2 does have lesser graphics coming into this generation, I feel like they still have a dog in the fight. So let's discuss it. So many fans are concerned that the Switch 2 may not meet the high expectations set by its predecessor, particularly regarding hardware and performance. Now, if we remember, the original Switch was a groundbreaking console that brought gaming to a whole new level, and people are worried that the new model might not live up to that standard. I mean, who can blame them? The Switch was a massive success, and it's only natural to want the next iteration to be even better. But what exactly are these high expectations? And are they even realistic in today's world? Well, let's set something straight right here. The Switch was never about being the most powerful console on the market. It was about offering a unique gaming experience that you couldn't get with the PS5 or the Xbox Series X. So, with that said, should we be judging the Switch 2 by the same standards as competitors? Or should we be looking at it from a different perspective? Now, to answer this question, it's crucial because we have to understand whether the Switch 2 specs are truly disappointing or not. Now, one thing is for sure, the rumor mill has been working overtime. With all the creators out there talking about the Switch 2 specs, some even showing leaked footage, we've got a pretty good idea of what the Switch 2 specs might look like. But before we dive into that, let's take a step back and think about what it is that we truly want from the Switch 2. Now, do we want it to be a powerhouse that can handle 8K graphics? Or do we just want it to be a console that focuses on innovative gameplay and unique experiences? Now let's explore the rumored specifications of the Switch 2, comparing them to the competition and discussing what this could mean for the gameplay and user experience. Now, from what we've heard and what we've read online, the Switch 2 might be running a custom NVIDIA Ampere GPU. Now that in itself is a significant upgrade from the original Switch's Maxwell GPU. What does this mean? Well, we'll be seeing some major improvements in terms of graphics and performance, but how does that match up to the PS5 and Xbox Series X? Now, the PS5 is running on a custom AMD GPU, and so is the Xbox Series X. Difference being, the PlayStation 5 version of the AMD GPU is a 10.3 teraflop, and the Xbox Series X is a 12.1 teraflop. The Switch 2, on the other hand, its GPU is only rumored to have around 6 teraflops, which is significantly less powerful than its competitors. However, as I mentioned earlier, the Switch has never been about being the most powerful console on the market. It's about offering a unique gaming experience. So what does this mean for gameplay and user experience? Well, we can expect to see some major improvements in terms of graphics and performance, but it's unlikely that the Switch 2 will be able to handle the same level of complexity as the PS5 and Xbox Series X. That's just a given. I mean, that means there's no way with the teraflop and GPU differences. But I feel like that's going to be okay because the Switch has always been about innovative gameplay. So next, we'll reveal the most surprising insight regarding the Switch's 2 specs and how it might surprise some fans and non-believers alike. One of the most surprising things about the Switch 2 specs is that they're not all about raw power. Nintendo in past practice has always been about innovation and creativity. I mean, it worked with the original Switch, it worked with the Wii in a time where the Wii was underpowered compared to the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. And it seems like this time around they're taking a similar approach with the Switch 2. So instead of focusing on raw power, they're focusing on creating a console that's truly unique and offers a gaming experience that you just can't get anywhere else. And in my opinion, I feel like this is actually really smart because it allows Nintendo to differentiate themselves from the competition and focus on what they do best, creating innovative and creative games that people love, such as the Joy-Cons, the motion controls, and while other systems do have a small version like with their controllers of motion control, it's nowhere compared to what the Switch does with the Joy-Cons, and it seems like with the design of the Switch 2, they're following suit, but the fact that you can take the Joy-Cons off and actually use them in different ways to play different innovative games. And when you think about it, that's what the Switch is all about. It's not about being the most powerful console in the market, it's about offering a unique gaming experience that you just can't get nowhere else. So even if the Switch 2 specs might not be the most impressive on paper, they're still likely to offer a gaming experience that's truly unique and exciting. And another surprising thing about the Switch 2 specs is that they're just not about the hardware, they're also about the software. Nintendo has been investing heavily in the machine learning and AI, and it seems like they're going to be using these technologies to create even more innovative and creative games. And this can go a long way with Nintendo's catalog of games, such as Metroid series, Pokemon series, and let's be real, Nintendo's been on a tear lately with arcade type games, RPGs, and with the new improved graphics, they'll probably be able to handle a lesser version of some of the AAA games that the PS5 and Xbox Series X can handle. So what have we learned today? I feel like we learned that while we all know that the Nintendo Switch 2, the hardware specs on paper might not be that impressive, in the end of the day, I don't think it really matters that much because Nintendo goes in a whole different direction. They're all about innovation, gameplay, new standards as far as what you can do with the system. And with the Switch 2's design, I feel like it being like the predecessor Switch 1, that being portable and having that kind of power in your hand and playing, I mean, you can do that now, let's be real, you can do that now with the Steam Deck and stuff like that, but Nintendo has their own franchise. People love Nintendo games. Mario, Zelda on the go, Pokemon, they're just big sellers. It's undeniable that Nintendo has a huge catalog of first-person parties. And now you're gonna be playing it with probably a better battery life, more memory, and just better graphics all around. And hopefully, my main takeaway is hopefully Nintendo will be able to at least maintain 60 FPS in all their games. Okay, 30, if you're doing a AAA title that's pushing the system, 30 is acceptable, but we can't go back to just having 30 FPS in lower and lesser games. It has to be at least, for my liking, 60 FPS. But that's a hope and what's on my wish list. So with that, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. But let me know down below, what do you think of the Switch 2 and their specs? Is the Switch 2's power gonna be enough to propel it ahead in the next generation, or this current generation, I should say? And is it gonna have that lifelong? You gotta remember, the Switch has been out for 7 years now. Is it Switch 2? So the Switch 2, if it has another 7 years of life when it comes out, either at the end of this year or the beginning of next year, we have to remember it's going to be competing with whatever Sony comes out with next and whatever the Xbox comes out with next. So it's going to be kind of a repeat of what's happening now, starting off behind and still trying to keep up with the future generation of gaming. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. And as always, take care of yourself, protect your inner peace. God bless you. I'm going to catch you on the next one.